All right, so good day to our Kapital DAO community and to everyone joining us tonight. We're all in for a treat for this much awaited AMA with Bullieverse.
That is right, partner. And for tonight's Ask Me Anything event, let's have an out of this world session as we learn more about Bullieverse' exciting new metaverse project, Necrodemic.
That's right. I'm so excited to learn more about how to survive in the undead universe of Necrodemic with today's event. But before anything else, I'm Claire, and with me is.
Hi everyone, I'm Art. Joining us today are no other than Tyler Caffey, Community and Growth, and Srini Anala, co-founder and CEO of the Bullieverse. Hi Tyler and Srini, how's it going, guys?
Good morning, guys. That was the greatest intro in the history of AMAs. That was awesome. But yeah, hi everybody. I'm Tyler. I'm head of community and growth at Bullieverse, and thank you guys so much for having us. Really excited to talk to everybody in the audience today about what we're doing over here.
Yes, thanks for the intro. And this is Srini here. I'm one of the founders of Believers. Happy to be here sharing what we've been building.
Awesome. Glad to have you guys with us today. From what we know so far about Necrodemic is that it's the newest game under the Bullieverse banner and that it's a free-to-play zombie-themed survival NFT crypto game. But for those who are only hearing about the game for the first time, could both of you please introduce yourselves and let the Capital DAO community know more about Bullieverse and Necrodemic?
Yeah, sure. So as you guys know, I'm Srini. I'm been in Web3 since 2016, started as an engineer, then become a community member, investor, entrepreneur building in this space since 2018. We started Believers back in 2021 during April, May, when we started with a vision of building a gaming metaverse that gives true ownership to players and also fair to creators as well. So in that pursuit of that vision, we come a long way. We bootstrapped our community support independently and executed our first NFT sale last year. And particularly myself and my co-founder, we are very crypto native and not from gaming industry, but we faced this challenge head on. We built a great team, which we are incredibly proud of having with us. And so far, we've launched two Unreal Engine games. The first one is an NFT game called Bear Hunt, where you play with a bull NFT and you win the game and then you mint an NFT as a reward. And the second newest game is Necrodemic, which we're going to talk a lot more today. And this is a free to play game and it is a zombie survival shooter game built on Unreal Engine. Right now it is in single player. We are also adding a multiplayer co-op and PvP modes as well as a mobile version of the game as well in Q1 next year. So yeah, happy to be here sharing more about what we've been building. But that's a quick introduction about ourselves, myself as well. Tyler, probably you can take over on introducing yourself as well.
Yeah, I'll be very quick so we can get to talking about Necrodemic ASAP. But my name's Tyler. Of course, I have a background in corporate sales and really no Web3 background except for the last year and a half. I got into crypto and investing back in 2017 when things were starting to ramp up with ETH and Bitcoin in that bull run. And then I just kind of kept my eye on it, got into NFTs and really started to immerse myself in Web3 in 2020. And then in 2021, August, I minted some of the Bullieverse Bull avatars in August, not having much idea of what they were. And basically, I started out in the community and then I started working for the team as the head of community. And now I run our growth operations as well. So it's been a pretty cool journey for me to start from basically the bottom. And now I'm, on an onward trajectory. And Srini's spot on with what we're doing about Necrodemic. It's an amazing game. If you're familiar with a Call of Duty Zombies meets Gears of War, might be the good parallel. It's a third-person shooter on Unreal Engine, so the graphics are amazing, the gameplay is amazing, and we'll talk a little bit more about it shortly here.
Wow, thank you for that lovely introduction for the both of you guys and for Necrodemic as well. As you've said, I'm really excited about the game. And how about you, partner? What do you think about it?
Definitely. I've seen the trailer and everything's interesting so far. And thank you so much again, Tyler and Srini, for that wonderful introduction. Now that we're all acquainted with what Necrodemic is, we can move on to some starter questions from the community. So, our first question for you guys is for the people who are not really familiar with Web3 projects and play to earn games, can you quickly guide us through the process of signing up so we can start playing the game?
Yeah, sure. So if you are not familiar with Bullieverse, so the best place to get a lot of help from communities are Discord. But yeah, if you go to our website, you can create an player account and download the launcher and play our games. So to create an account, you need a Web3 wallet, but we also have a sequence wallet integration, which means you don't need to know about how to manage your private keys. You can create an wallet with your social logins like Google, even Discord login as well. So which creates a non-custodial wallet for you, and then you can log in to our website, create your account, and then you're good to go from there. So with the Necrodemic, you don't need any NFTs to play as well. So as long as you have a player account, you're good to go. And there are a lot of tournaments rolling out. Since the last 1 month, we had about 50 tournaments so far. And the newest tournament is public, open for everyone to join. So there is a cool prize pool as well. So you can join the competitions in our website and then play them in the game.
Oh, that's really good to know, and I'm really excited about the competitions that you were telling. Now, another question that we have for you guys is what platform is the game on aside from PC or maybe Mac? Will your game be available on other platforms? If so, why or why not?
Sure. So right now the game is available to be played on PC, and also we are moving to Unreal Engine 5 as well pretty soon. And obviously, like with the Mac, when we rolled out Bear Hunt game, we had to do a lot of changes for both these kind of machines. So what we decided with Necro is once we get close to the public launch, we'll do a Mac build ready as well. So that should be there in early Q1. But right now it's PC only. And again, like as I mentioned, we have plans to launch on mobile as well this game.
Awesome. It's great that you guys have plans to be available on other platforms. So, following that up with our next question, what are the timetables of your plans for the game?
So right now it's been in beta for over a month. So the plan is to host competitions, play testing, get feedback, improve, make any minor adjustments and improve the gameplay. And we are pretty much comfortable with going for a public launch sometime in January, like very early Q1 with a single player game. And the multiplayer, the plan is to roll out towards the end of Q1 next year. And the mobile should follow and should be there in mid next year.
Wow, that's good to know that we have a timetable that's detailed and already planned out. For our next question we have for you guys is what will be the flexibility of this roadmap as certain players' preferences change over time? How are we gonna keep up with the trend for this one, guys?
Sure. So, which is true, right? I mean, since we started, we launched 2 games, but our plan is to publish more games, and not only just by us. Over the last 18 months, we built a lot of tooling and infrastructure that helps us go at much faster pace. Like for example, with Necro itself, we started building that since end of July. So in 3 months, we've rolled out a beta, right? So we move at incredible pace because of like we have a lot of tooling and like these 3D models and mechanics that we built for our first game. We kind of use that now, and our plan is to enable community created games as well on our platform. So by end of 2023, we would like to have at least 5 games in Bullieverse ecosystem to built on with our NFTs, our models, or leveraging our animations and in-game assets. And not only just that, we have also like Unreal Engine plugins for integrating NFTs into the game, integrating tokens and microtransactions, make them happen. We have a game launcher as well, which gets continuously updated. So essentially where we are getting to is to create an ecosystem where we as creators, we build games, but we'll also enable community created games, indie developer built games as well. And hopefully by 2025, we want to have like 100 games on our ecosystem built by us, by our community. So that's our roadmap plan.
Wow, that's good to know. And thank you so much, Tyler and Srini, for accommodating our questions about Bullieverse and Necrodemic. So far, I believe we have some questions from the community as well, and that we'd like to dive into. So let's start with the first question from our community, coming from Giselle. Necrodemic, what is the estimated match time and how are we queuing up players with different skill floors? As have you mentioned earlier, that we are planning to put up a multiplayer PvP and co-op, right? So how will we balance this out to make the game fun and fair for everyone who's playing?
Sure. Tyler, you want to take that? Or I can.
Yeah. I was going to say I can take this one. Yeah, it's a great question. It's a really great question. So right now with the current structure, essentially, since multiplayer isn't quite available yet, basically when you sign up for a competition, you're entered into a leaderboard, and your highest score, the score doesn't accumulate with each round. So it's your best score for whatever round you play is where you'll position on the leaderboard, and that's how you will be ranked by your score against other players. And that's how prizes are awarded. The estimated match time, it really depends. Some players have different strategies on how they like to play the game. The game is capped at 30 rounds. So it's not capped at a time limit currently. So some players like to play through quickly. Other players like to be a little bit more strategic and take more time if they can last to the end. The game gets progressively harder with each round. So if you can make it to round 30, then you're pretty good. Let me just make sure I'm answering all of this. We balance out the game to make it fun. Yeah, so that's a really interesting question that I don't think we have a direct answer for yet. Once we get into multiplayer and PvP, there'll certainly be different mechanisms that we will try and test with the community to see what's most desirable and fair for everyone, to make sure that everybody has an equal opportunity to not only just have fun playing the game, but have a chance to win as well.
Awesome. Like the only other thing I would add is with the public launch, we'll also introduce a player progression system and an economic model as well, right? And for the economic model, right now we are working with wider research, and that should be part of the game when we launch it. And like right now, it's pretty much like competitive tournaments we are hosting, right? So with the public launch, you can play at your own pace, unlocking there will be battle passes. You can unlock some cool NFTs and get some rewards through that, and there will be like badges that you can earn by playing the game. So you can take it at your own pace as well once it's public and live. And yeah, as with Tyler mentioned with the multiplayer, like the way we are looking at it is to launch the cooperative one first, right? And the intention here is to create fun community-based gameplay where community can play together against the AI. And that's something that we are quite interested in exploring and experimenting. But obviously with the PvP and more like the battle royale vibes kinds of makes it much more interesting. And that's something we're going to explore and see what fits best.
Awesome. Thanks for that wonderful answer, you guys. We have a follow-up question here from 02. They ask, does Bullieverse intend to participate in esports? And if so, how will you attract players away from traditional and casual esport games into more of games such as Necrodemic?
Yeah, it's another really great question. Thank you, 0. Yeah, we are definitely looking to expand highly into esports. I think both as a company and me personally, we think esports is going to be huge in the Web3 space. It's obviously gaining global popularity in Web2. You see colleges and schools all over the place having esports teams now, along with regular sports teams. So it's certainly becoming more popular, and we're definitely keeping our eye on it. We're definitely going to be expanding into the esports arena. And, the way that we'll do that is really just by building our game to be a really fun but competitive game. And we'll do whatever we can to attract those players. So that's really the plan for now.
Thank you for that, Tyler. A follow-up question to that coming from me is that how are we going to scale this esports tournament? Are there any qualifications that we should be keeping in mind? Are there any specific combat phases there in that certain esports game that we might expect to see in the future, since you said you intend to participate in the esports community?
Yeah, another great question. Yeah, I don't think we know exactly what that landscape looks like in a detailed fashion quite yet. It's something that we're currently strategizing on right now. But yeah, I mean, the esports arena is going to be massive for us, and we just want to make sure that as we're rolling out Necrodemic, so at least for Necro and our future games, that we build a strong foundation so that the esports aspect of the game, once we do get to that point, is really strong and attractive to esports teams, players, viewers, etc.
Great, thanks for that. There's another question on here from Jaws. You mentioned on your white paper that you'll be having a free pass to accommodate free-to-play players. How does this translate in terms of performance? And do NFT holders have special attributes in gameplay that free-to-play players don't have?
Sure. So right now, once the game is live, the game is free to play, right? So you don't need a pass as such to access this. Like what you've seen on the white paper is pretty much like what are thinking with the Bear Hunt game, which was purely for NFT holders, right? And You got to have a pass if you want to play that game. But we're changing that model. So with Necro, it's going to be free to play. But by holding an NFT, you get access to premium competitions with bigger prize pools and also special like early access to content that's going to come out from the game side, like new maps, new special loot boxes and other drops that we give to NFT holders. So those are the benefits. And again, if you want to participate in these premium competitions, you got to rent your NFTs from our NFT holders and then participate and win more, get access to bigger prize pool competitions via that. That's a model that's going to come live along with public launch as well. So in terms of like on a high level, if you hold an NFT, you get obviously more benefits than a non-holder. Like you can rent them, you can access special competitions, you get early access, you get special drops. So as a free-to-play player, you can still participate in public competitions. You can build your reputation in the game, earn badges, do quests. So there are a lot of interesting elements for free-to-play gamers as well.
Oh, thank you for that, Srini. And I can tell you, I can't wait for the game to be released. Now, another question that we have for you guys is it's very nice to know that the project you made makes use of the game engine Epic Games has, which is also known as Unreal Engine. Now, coming with the popularity and the quality of this engine, users or the gamers will expect a unique and quality performance for its graphics and animation. Do you think that this project will meet majority of the users' expectations?
Yes, for sure. I think the way that we are building games is completely different to how traditional game developers build games, right? We are building with community. We started building this game on Unreal Engine like 4 to 5 months ago, and we rolled out beta like in end of October. And we consistently take feedback from the community and keep improving. If you played this game in October when it was first launched in alpha, and you see now it's improved a lot, right? In terms of the overall aesthetics and the graphics and the gameplay. And we continue to optimize and improve. So that's a process that keeps going on. And yeah, so I'm sure once it is live and as we continue to add more features to the game, so this definitely appeals to traditional gamers. And we already have a lot of Web2 gamers that have played and given us a lot of positive feedback. In fact, like a couple of days ago, we hosted a Twitter Spaces with Kapital DAO as well, and some of our partners for the holiday tournament. And there was one of the guys who played our game in a DreamHack event in India. So he said he quite enjoyed the gameplay. And we consistently get that feedback already from traditional gamers. We have another community member recently come through TikTok. He found our game and he started, he got an NFT now and he's learning about how to buying Matic and how to doing transactions. So we are already at a stage where we are able to impress traditional gamers with our gameplay and the overall game mechanics. So yes, so I'm quite confident once we launch public, it's going to be even more awesome.
Wow, it's so great that you guys take constant feedback from your community to improve the gameplay. And from the looks of it, from the trailer alone, I too am excited to play Necrodemic. But pivoting the conversation back to NFTs, there's a question here from Irina. With the Bullieverse having been a host for multiple games and their assets, how does it translate its NFTs when dealing with the same universe but different games?
Yeah, so if you played Bear Hunt with our Bull NFT as an avatar, right? And there was a weapon as well, which is called the flamethrower. And in the next game, Necrodemic, you could use the same Bull avatars and also the weapon as well. Pretty much the way we are looking at is for all the games that are coming into the Bullieverse ecosystem, we'll have that interoperability, right? So you could use these FTs between different games. And also potentially down the line, community can create assets as well. That's something that we are quite interested, particularly in the Web3 open ecosystem ethos, right? So we would like to see assets that can be created and attracts value through multiple games. So that's something that we are excited about. But right now we have already, like these NFTs were used in both the games that we have and will continue to be used in the future games as well.
Oh, thank you for that, Srini. And a follow-up question from Zero Two regarding NFTs is that, as you've said regarding the flamethrower, with relation to the previous question about cross games platforms, aside from the flamethrower, are there any other NFT assets on the other games that you made that I can use in Necrodemic? And what are the protocols involved when transferring these NFTs?
Yeah, I can take that. So basically, the idea is all of our games we're really trying to follow a lore and a story that connects each game. And the goal is to solve a major Web 2 gaming issue, which is that, for example, you play Call of Duty Warzone 1, right? And you put all this money into it, you buy the battle passes each season, you end up spending $200 on all these gun packs, weapon skins, character skins, etc. And then Warzone 2 comes out and none of those things that you bought translate. So nobody plays Warzone 1 anymore. You can't have your items that you purchased in Warzone 2. So they're basically worthless. So we're trying to solve that problem by connecting all of our games through a really strong story and lore that people love. And the goal is to have each NFT, whether it be an avatar, a wearable, a skin, anything like, be interoperable between each game. So there's not really a protocol where you have to send one of your NFTs to a different account or to a different game. The plan is all of our games you'll be able to log in with your Bullieverse.com account. And so they'll all be under that umbrella. And so you won't have to transfer NFTs to each game. The goal is just to have them all readily available in each game.
Thank you so much for that, Tyler. It's interesting that you pointed out that all of Bullieverse games will belong in the same universe, because I'm interested to know how Necrodemic, Bear Hunt, and your upcoming project, Longhorn, from your website will tie in together. So with that, we'll jump to the next question by Bumblebee, which is related to game mechanics. This project has trade-in game items where you can buy and sell the loots you got. Does it have an in-game marketplace where you won't have to go into the browser to sell or trade items?
So right now we have our own native marketplace in our website where you can buy and sell items. But if the plan is to integrate the buying, selling, trading these NFTs into the game as well, right? But we're not there yet, but that's definitely in our roadmap. So in line with that, pretty much what we are trying to do is to, like as long as you have NFT in your wallet, you will be able to log into the game directly with the wallet. And then you have all your assets there and you can trade NFTs. So that's a plan. But right now, yeah, we have a marketplace that's in our website. And you can also trade on OpenSea as well.
Oh, thank you for that. And then a follow-up question regarding the trading in-game. Since you said it's on your roadmap, have you ever considered the likes of not really copying but borrowing the idea of some CS:GO websites in which they allow traders for in-game time, like at the same time, in which one trades up until both has accepted the trade? Have you guys ever thought of using that idea as well?
Sorry, you were breaking in between. So you mean like trading between two players during the game?
Yes, yes. Like,
Yeah, sure, for sure. Yeah. I think once we integrate like wallet authentication and making transactions happen inside the game, then yeah. So that's cool thing about the Web3, right? So you have your assets and you could pretty much do trade or buy during the gameplay as well, which is quite interesting. Right now we have a sequence wallet integrated, which enables us to integrate in-game transactions, right? And apart from that, we are also one of the alpha testers for Hyperplay. If you not heard about, that's a game launcher coming from, I believe, Game 7. I'm not sure, but yeah, there is another game launcher we are testing. We are also implementing our own native wallet integration into the games as well. So once that is there, then these are the things that makes 3 games exciting and interesting, right? You can transact peer to peer without having any intermediary in place. So that's going to be there for sure.
Thanks so much for that, Srini. We still have a few questions on here regarding NFTs. From Zeal, they ask, NFT leveling up is mentioned in your white paper. How does NFT level up on Bullieverse, and does it apply to other Bullieverse games as well?
Sure. So the leveling up for NFTs, particularly it applies for the avatar collection, right? So mainly for bull and bear NFTs right now. And those details will be out once the economy is in place and we publish information about that with the public launch. But the way it's going to be structured is as long as you're positively contributing to the ecosystem, either through gameplay or through renting your NFTs for other players to play, you'll be able to level up your NFTs, thereby the earning potential for these NFTs increases as you positively contribute to the ecosystem. It's more like aligning incentives of people who own these assets, and as long as that positively contribute to the ecosystem and the sustenance of the economy, so those NFTs will get higher value through level ups and be able to earn more. So that's the way we are going about it.
Oh, that's good to know, Srini. And a follow-up question from Seal regarding leveling up your NFTs. Does leveling up your NFT have an effect for its value? Does it still stay the same no matter how leveled up it is?
Yeah. So, like once NFTs are leveled up, as it levels up, the earning potential increases. So that's definitely value associated with increasing leveling up your NFTs, right? So yes, for sure.
All right, again, regarding NFTs, Arena asks, can you elaborate further about the citizenship when you buy Kobe NFT?
Yeah. Sorry, Taylor, you're going?
No, go ahead.
Yeah, so Citizens is the first collection we launched, right? So it is the genesis of Bullieverse. And by getting a Bull NFT, you get citizenship, which is like you could imagine in a Discord, it is like a role, but in a game, it could be like special, like entry to premium competitions. So our NFT is not just an avatar, but also it is your way to access a lot of economic elements in the ecosystem and also access a community, participate in special events like talk, access this special chat with other Discord NFT holders. And in the future, as we launch co-op multiplayer games, there are a lot of interesting things we are planning, like honing an NFT means not just you have an in-game asset or an avatar, but it is much more than that. You are part of a community. You are a part of this whole value accrual loop cycle, and there are multiple other benefits that come by becoming a citizen.
Oh, thank you for that, Srini. And moving on to the platform gaming of Necrodemic, Gambit has asked, what are the challenges with playing Bullieverse games on Apple phones?
You mean challenges of launching these games on Apple phones?
Sorry, yes, the challenges in launching these games on Apple phones.
Yeah, so I mean, pretty much the biggest challenge with Apple is obviously like when it comes to NFTs, right? There are some rules in place that we need to adhere to, but there are no showstoppers or blockers as such. For us, it is pretty much right now we are focusing on the PC game, and obviously it's a little bit down the roadmap for the mobile. But yeah, there are no challenges. It's just about a matter of time and executing that part of the roadmap and launching it.
All right, thank you so much for that, Srini. There's a question here from Ray Katz. Would you consider a seasonal rewards or battle pass in this project? I think they're referring to Recordemic for this one.
That's Tyler's favorite topic, so I want to let him have a free reign.
um yes, so for the battle pass, yeah, we're definitely looking to launch this with public launch, so probably we'll have the system implemented in Q1. But yeah, the battle pass is certainly going to be a big part of what we do. We have some pretty cool ideas for how to make it a little bit more Web3, if you will, so more to come there. But yeah, 100% we will have that.
That's good to know that we are having battle passes for this game. That's really interesting. Other question from Kurumi regarding the game's weapons. It says that I see that the game has a variety of weapons being sold in Sticky Nicky's Emporium. What are your inspirations in designing these weapons, and what scenarios will a certain weapon be used at best?
I think on the inspiration side, like as you see with the Necrodemic, though it falls under the same category of zombie shooter like COD Zombies, right? We kind of wanted to have some fun elements in the game and make it more personal, like, instead of having a vending machine where you can go and buy stuff. So that's where we started thinking about a shopkeeper, right, who sells you stuff. But also, what if he comes and steals from you during your gameplay? And also, the Sticky Nicky name comes from one of our team member who is Nick. It's a funny story, like, and also he has a brother called Juicy Joe, who is a kinds of a good guy, right? So where you can go and upgrade your weapons and stuff like that. So yeah, the idea is to make it fun and interesting. Also, this game has a procedurally generated maps and a lot of unique things that enables replayability and have fun and see different kinds of an experience every time you play. But yeah, on the weapon side, I'll let Tyler talk more.
Yeah, so in terms of actually using the weapons in game, it really will depend on your play style. I think there's 6 different weapons right now, maybe 7. We will definitely add more going forward, but yeah, it depends on your play style. So, there's guns that can shoot rapidly but do less damage. They're good for racking up points in the early rounds, but once the zombies get more powerful in the later rounds, they're not very effective and you'll run out of ammo pretty quick. So you kind of find the right balance of what you like and what fits your strategy best. We also do have a melee weapon. It's not fully integrated yet, but once the melee weapon is optimized and balanced for the gameplay, that should be a pretty fun way to play as well. But it really all depends at the end of the day on what your style is and how you think you can get the most points.
All right, thanks for that, Srini and Tyler. We have a question here from Kian. Will Necrodemic's PvP in co-op mode be skill-based? And will those who invest more in the game be stronger? Or will everyone compete on equal terms?
So the tournaments are going to be kind of skill based. Obviously, there is a bit of luck factor as well. So we have the loot goblin, which has a percentage chance of spawning right towards the later stage of the game, which can give you a lot of points. And also like some perks which might have the increase the chance of getting higher score. But largely the competitions are pretty much on skill based. But the competition is only one part of it, right? So when we have the player progression and other systems in place, you can play at your own pace, unlocking stuff and exploring and working on your improving your strategies, as Tyler mentioned. Like that plays one big part in this. And it's pretty much, it's unique to the style of your game, like how you play it. So yeah, that's how I would say. So competitions are competitive, obviously, but also you could play at your own pace, particularly the battle passes and systems like that.
Okay, that's good to know. Another question from Zero Two regarding the game. It says that Necrodemic is a replayable game. How will you keep this playable without it being extremely repetitive?
It's a really great question. So first off, I would say there's only one map technically at this time, but one thing that we did for the current Necrodemic Before Christmas holiday tournament is we redesigned the entire landscape. So it's a lot of fun. There's, snow, there's holiday decorations everywhere. So the game looks very, very different than it did a couple weeks ago. But the other thing is that the map for our game is procedurally generated, which means basically every time you play the game, the map is configured differently. So you can't just memorize a certain path that you went to in a previous round and that is really good to use. So each time you play, you have to re-find where the stores are at. You have to re-find the portals. You have to feel out the map every time you play. And there's something crazy, like over 2 billion possibilities of the map configuration. So the likelihood that you'll ever play the same map or even realize you're playing the same map is pretty low. So that adds a nice level of replayability without just being the same song and dance every time you play.
Great. Thanks for that breakdown, Tyler. There's more questions on here regarding PvP modes from Ray Katz. They ask, how does the game prevent cheating or other forms of misconduct in player versus player modes?
Sure. So with the PvP games, pretty much like the standard usual anti-cheat systems we'll have, and also the fact that most of the gameplay is controlled from the server side with the multiplayer game. So it's pretty standard what you see with traditional Web 2 games. We'll implement the same kind of anti-cheat systems in place. And apart from that, we are also building systems for identifying bots and also identifying players that are cheating through combining game analytics and on-chain activity. So that's something that we're also working along with some of our partners from AWS as well, just to make sure that we have all the tech in place that usual Web2 games have to make sure that the experience is good for all our players. Even with the current tournaments we have, since there are prize pools, we are bound to get people trying to do all sorts of things, right? And we've been able to figure out and identify and protect the interests of our serious committed players. So we'll continuously keep improving. And yeah, with multiplayer, that's definitely going to be part of the game.
Wow, that's good to know, Srini, that we are ensuring fairness and good conduct in our game. Another question that I would personally like to ask you guys is, what was the inspiration between the design of the characters and the enemies and the name of the game, Necrodemic? Out of all the characters or animals that you can use, why bulls and bears? It's really been interesting one for me, because in what game can you see an undead bear trying to kill you?
Yeah. Taylor, you wanted to say something?
Oh, go ahead.
Sure. So, I mean, the reason why we started with bulls, it's from the Genesis, right? When we started trying to imagine this world, we wanted to build shooter games. Obviously, some inspiration was definitely from worlds like Fortnite as well, right? So we wanted to build shooter games, battle royale games, and we wanted a character that kinds of is very confident and heroic, right? So, and also we're building in Web3. We want to create some memes and create some lore around it. So that's one of the reasons we went with Bull and a Bear Hunt game, where it is a shooter game, but more like an exploratory and kind of an objective based game. So you have these multiple levels. There is a story. You play the game, complete all the levels, go to the final boss bear, and once you kill him and win the game, you get a new NFT as a reward. And then through that, we created all this story world. So that's pretty much how it started. And since then, taking forward from there with the Necrodemic, like once the bear hunt is finished, like I think Tyler is the best person to explain the lore. I would let him speak about Necrodemic and the story, like why these characters are there.
Yeah, so basically the first game that we made was the bear hunt, right? So the idea was that our island of bulls on Believer Island were invaded by this army of bears, right? And so there was a massive war between the bulls and the bears. But something within the bears was causing them to turn into zombies after they died. So basically the war is over, the bulls have defeated the bears, and it's like, what do we do with these bears that are still alive? You know, we captured them, so now they're our prisoners. But some of the bears that perished during the war are now rising from the dead because of this necromancer that came from nowhere, Sticky Nicky. So in order for the bulls to be able to defeat the undead, they have no other choice but to partner with the captive bears. And it's now a battle of life versus death instead of bull versus bear. So that's kind of how this game connects. And then we have a pretty cool idea that I won't say now of how we're going to connect a Necrodemic into the PvP Battle Royale game.
All right. So many exciting things for Necrodemic in the Bullieverse universe. I think we're down to our last question for you guys. From Gambit, they ask, how does the game handle player communication and teamwork? And are there any in-game chat or voice communication features, or do players have to rely on other methods to coordinate with their teammates?
Sure. So currently, the game in its current state, like you can play it right now solo. So multiplayer is not quite ready yet. It'll be ready in a few weeks, but there will be voice chat and text chat ability in game, so that you can fully play with your teammates.
All right, I guess that's it for our AMA tonight. Thank you so much, everyone, for sending in your questions. And thank you to Tyler and Srini for being so accommodating for all of our community questions. We hope this insightful and very productive discussion has helped answer all of your questions and spark your curiosity as you discover yet another exciting Web3 project.
That's right, partner. And just like our previous AMAs here in Kapital DAO, our lovely audience has the opportunity to take home exclusive items. Today, you guys have the chance to win Necrodemic holiday loot boxes, courtesy of none other than our partners over at Bullieverse. So stay tuned here on our Discord server for the announcement of our winners.
That's right. So congratulations in advance to our winners. It truly is a Kapital DAO event if the audience will leave with both new knowledge about the Web3verse and wonderful prizes from our generous guests. So stay tuned for future AMAs if you wish to win more prizes.
That's right, Claire. And as we are nearing the end of our event, allow me to call Tyler and Srini back here for maybe some short closing remarks, some updates to look forward to with Bullieverse and or Necrodemic, or maybe some social media plugins for our audience tonight.
Sure. Tyler, you can go. I can go next after you.
Sure. Yeah, so again, Claire and Artemis, thank you guys so much for hosting, and thanks to big shout out to Kapital DAO for having us. And to everybody in the audience, we appreciate you coming to listen to us and hear about what we're doing and building for Web3 gaming and beyond. So what I would say is, if you are lucky enough to win one of the holiday loot boxes, it's a really great opportunity to get a cool wearable and in-game NFT asset for your character. So you'll be able to reveal those on our website after you create an account. So if you do happen to win, of course, congratulations in advance, but hopefully you will get a nice rare item that is holiday themed. And then secondly, we do have a tournament ongoing right now that Capital DAO is kind enough to be sponsoring with us. It's called the Necrodemic Before Christmas Tournament. You can sign up and play for free on our website, and you can actually run around in the game and look for the Capital DAO billboards. So we do have billboards with the Capital DAO logos up and available in the game, which is really cool. So it might be fun for you to go hop in the game, take a screenshot by one of the Capital DAO billboards and post it in Discord here for the community to see. I think that would be fun. But yeah, feel free to join on our website and play. It's going to be a lot of fun, and you can win some great prizes. Thank you all again for having me today.
Thanks, Taylor. And yeah, I think just want to thank Capital DAO as well for giving us the opportunity to speak with you here and also sponsoring the Christmas tournament. Definitely check that out. And yeah, I mean, like particularly from our first-hand experience seeing even traditional gamers jumping into the Bullieverse world, we strongly believe that NFTs and Web3 gaming are the Trojan horse, right, for crypto mass adoption. And we are going to see a huge influx of gamers jumping into our world, playing games, getting NFTs, and going through the journey of what it means to hold an in-game asset. So with Bullieverse, we have a team that has proven their execution capabilities. We have launched 2 games. Necrodemic is getting a ton of positive feedback, and it's still in beta. We have an incredible set of roadmap items which we are going to knock them out next year. So there is never better time to get into the Bullieverse world. So do check out our website or white paper, play Necrodemic. We have a strong community in our Discord, and we have incredible partners like Kapital DAO who are helping us support build for the future, right? So yeah, that's my sincere thanks for everyone making time and joining this AMA, and thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you so much, Tyler and Srini. Safe to say we are all looking forward to playing Necrodemic and all of the games under the Bullieverse banner. All the best to you guys. And definitely we will send in the website for you guys to check out. And again, join their Discord to immerse yourself in their community. Thank you so much again, Tyler and Srini.
And we would also like to thank everyone who assisted us over the duration of the event. We appreciate your attendance and the questions you brought with you.
Yes, thank you everybody and have a great rest of the day.